this was initially a joke, and then I looked at the study. It concluded that the results demonstrate that testosterone induces a red shift among weakly affiliated Democrats. Before the testosterone treatment, we found higher basal testosterone than those who identified strongly with the party. So, in short, higher testosterone does mean that you're less likely to be a leftist, but it also means that, you know, you should probably stop drinking soy, start eating red meat, get your butts in the gym, because, you know, our country is kind of depending on you. This is honestly too good not to share. You know how we all joke that people who swing to the left have lower testosterone? Looked at the study. It concluded that the results demonstrate that testosterone induces a red shift among weakly affiliated Democrats. Before the testosterone treatment, we found that weakly affiliated Democrats had 19% higher basal testosterone than those who identified strongly with the party. So, in short, higher testosterone does mean that you're less likely to be a leftist, but it also means that, you know, you should probably stop drinking soy, start eating red meat, get your butts in the gym, because, you know, our country is kind of depending on you. This is honestly too good not to share.
That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Don't know if I'll ever.
And they needed to be ignored.
Is this a video?
Yeah.
This is a square. Can you?
Why can't you even?
Whoa.
Oh my god. It's okay, buddy. You're alright.
Oh my god. Whoa, watch this. Dog saved the baby.
It's okay, buddy. You're alright.
Bruh! The dog came in clutch. What was that one? Oh, dude. Yo. Okay, that was pretty crazy. A little loud, but I like it. That was dope.
Watch your mouth, Bird.
Your wife should have watched her mouth before kissing the yoga instructor.
What?
Oh yeah,
Well,
now
what?
the dog isn't the only position he's teaching her.
Oh my.
You're under
Bro.
arrest for having no snacks.
Wait, what did it just say?
You heard me, rookie. Go clean your feathers.
This bird's got more attitude than my boss!
Look at this damn clown in blue. Go stick your ass in the microwave.
Your wife teaches you that?
No, your ex did.
Oh. Where were you last night at 9 p.m.?
At your mom's house.
Listen here, feathered witness. Did you eat the donuts?
I only eat organic. Ask your partner. Officer Miller, arrest me.
Arrest you for what, Paco?
For falling in love with you.
You're being very loud.
That's what your mama said.
Hey, don't bring my mama into this.
I know my rights.
Alright, settle down, buddy.
Call my lawyer. You're a mall cop who finally got a real badge.
I've been on the force for 5 years.
5 years, and you're big.
Damn!
The department must be thriving.
Watch your mouth, Bird.
Your wife should have watched her mouth before kissing the yoga instructor.
Bro, that's funny. That's funny. Holy shit. Let's do this. And go here.
Brass shutter locks from master lock.
The hell? Not good.
This has to.
And then what happened?
Alright. Alright, let's do... There's so much to get around, so much to look at. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Welcome back. The Pentagon continues to ratchet up pressure on Venezuela with the deployment of the USS Gerald Ford Carrier Strike Group to the Southern Command Area, which includes Venezuela.
So, after sinking 3 cartel boats in 1 week, the United States has decided to take things up a notch. And a carrier battle group, the most feared armada of ships to bless the seas with its destructive presence, now moves towards Venezuela. A hard-nosed dictatorship that refuses to turn over its criminals while it secretly funds radical Antifa-backed mobs in America. But it now looks like all of Venezuela's mischief could end without warning.
No crazy war.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro takes to the airwaves in English, practically begging the United States to back off.
Please, please, please.
Aircraft carriers, attack helicopters, long-range bombers, F-35s, Reaper drones, and we would assume special operations troops.
It comes after the U.S. military flew 2 B-1 bombers near the coast of Venezuela yesterday, according to a defense official.
Everybody knows Maduro is the head of the biggest cartel of the Suns.
Obviously.
Also the head of the Tren de Aragua, a criminal network that has committed crimes in the US and Canada, up down to Argentina and Chile. It's all run by Maduro.
14% of the Navy's fleet is now in the Caribbean, including a buildup of 10,000 Marines and sailors, a dozen warships, a nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, a special operations mothership with drone capabilities, 3 guided missile destroyers, and the USS Iwo Jima.
But let's be honest, you do not need aircraft carriers to do this. So what is really going on with the USS Gerald R. Ford?
You know, the land is going to be next, and we may go to the Senate, we may go to the, Congress and tell them about it.
So as Venezuela begs for peace, they're busy funding less than peaceful protests, riots actually, here in America. And what nobody's talking about is...
Hold up, we gotta do this one first. This is...
Wow. A lot of people have been getting mad at this clip. I'm gonna watch it. Let's see it.
These like lovely sort of small towns in England, Scotland, Ireland. They've been like sort of living their lives quietly. They're like hobbits, frankly. It's
like the scouring of the Shire.
The what?
Bro, yes. Oh my God.
Everything is a Lord of the Rings reference.
In fact, J.R.R. Tolkien based the hobbits on people he knew
in World War I
in small town England.
Well,
because they were just like lovely people who like to, smoke their pipe and have nice meals and everything's pleasant. The hobbits in the Shire. So he was talking about
who did he base the orcs on?
Places like Hertfordshire, like the Shire is around in the Greater London area.
Yeah.
Oxfordshire type of thing. But the reason they've been able to enjoy the Shire is because white men have protected them from the dangers of the world. But since they have almost no exposure to the dangers of the world,
they think it doesn't exist.
They don't realize that they're there.
Yeah.
Until one day, 1,000 people show up in your village of 500 out of nowhere and start the kids. This has now happened God knows how many times in Britain.
And people are really, really mad about this clip. It's got 4 million views. And do you know what I've been seeing a lot of people doing? And if I go back, Gandalf would not allow this. This is genuinely insane. I mean, worryingly divorced from any reality. How desperate are people to believe this nonsense? If it was so fake and so inaccurate, why are there so many speech laws that prevent people from talking about it? Why are the other governments in places like Sweden and Norway not reporting the rapes and the different types of sexual assaults by the citizenship of the person?
This is the constant gaslighting lies that the UK government and the woke left are trying to cover up when it comes to the problem of immigration, particularly in the UK, but also affecting Germany massively, affecting France massively. I mean, none of this. And obviously, Trump is not putting up with it anymore either, but the problem was, by and large, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of Middle Eastern, like Islamic, Sunni, Shia, doesn't matter, peoples are flocking into Europe, and were flocking into the United States before Trump. A population of this group that previously has known connections to an underground of a criminal organization of organized human trafficking and rape gangs for underage girls. It's despicable. It's disgusting. And the issue has gone up in the last decade in the UK specifically, and they're so woke and so worse that they're just ignoring it. That's a problem. This is a problem, guys.
Why are they doing that? If this is so divorced from reality, then why are they doing so many things to hide something that doesn't exist?
That's exactly right.
And you just see the videos, and there's a bunch of scammers right underneath the Eiffel Tower running around with sticks. Like, it's not like this is a fucking... No, it's not like nobody knows about this. There's no arguments, no attacks. Yes, the South African wants to be American.
They obvious about this going on, but everybody just ignores it. And you have to push back. You really have to push back. You have to speak out against it. You can't be worried about optics when you're talking about the threat, the danger to little girls, to women. I mean, if you want to protect your people, then do that.
Ireland, go fuck yourself. So, and then come out. There are no arguments against this, by the way. It's descendant for people that actually turned up in villages in Africa and stole from and raped and murdered the indigenous people. His wealth stems from the emerald mines that his ancestors stole. Here he peddles pure fiction to sustain the racist system he owns everything to. So you agree that it's bad. So he's even agreeing on it. I can't believe people believe this, for fuck's sake. Do you know why people believe it? It's because video cameras exist. And they see the videos of it happening. And you have individuals, people that are living there, that are saying they're afraid to go outside. That's the reason why. We're at the it's not happening stage? No. And did they really steal the mines? Who cares? Like, I don't know. I mean, what did Elon Musk's dad do 50 or 100 years ago? Who gives a fuck? Like, it does nothing to do with him. And post should be used as an intelligence test for having the right to vote. Exactly. It should be. And if you don't believe it, you shouldn't be able to vote. I completely agree with them. Absolutely. This is bullshit from a small town in Ireland. I wish that you could take and look at these people and see where they live and see how homogenous the culture that they're living in is. Because I like seeing these comments and then finding out, oh, well, I'm from this place and that's not happening. Well, yes, because this place doesn't have any of those migrants at all. That's on Twitter? Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? And the guy's a famous comedian in Britain, by the way. Yeah, well, of course, right? So he lives in a place where he doesn't have to experience any of the negative effects of migration. This is the difference, right? In Sweden, the identity of the perpetrator is only revealed by the media if the sentence is a life sentence. Usually they give hints about the nationality if it's not a citizen by stating he's getting deported or not. BRA, the crime statistics will list the stats as natives, EU or outside of the EU citizen criminals. But anyway, so yeah, obviously this is happening. Obviously bringing in a bunch of migrants in a small city, in a small town is going to cause a bunch of problems, right? I'm Irish here. He's 100% right. They're dropping double the population of illegals into some villages. Our military is tiny, not even 10K. And yeah, there you go, right? That's a lie. In Sweden, the culprit is, if the culprit is Swedish, he's outed directly. If it's an immigrant, it's being hidden until he's proven guilty. I don't know whether that's true or not. I mean, I don't live there. It's just things that I've heard and seen. But I was just talking about the way that the different things are reported because I do know about that. So in terms of like how the media reports it, I can't really comment on it. So yeah, saying it's not happening. Genuinely insane to say that it's not happening in Newtown. Mount Kindy had busloads of people smuggled in under the cover of darkness. Plenty of small towns in Ireland have had their locals outnumbered in a matter of months. Being the kids, sorry, when did that happen? Man. If it was me, this is what I would do. I can't say what I would do. Never mind. I was thinking this out, and I can't say it. Never mind. I'm a very... Let's just say that I'm a very creative person. I'm a creative person, and I really like the idea of poetic justice. Right? Are you? Yeah, it's better for me just... I'll explain why they're like this. The reason why they're like this is because they don't ever have to see it. So, for example, a person that lives in, let's say, New Hampshire is probably not going to experience a tremendous degree of illegal migration there.
Bro, obviously.
To the same level that a Californian would, or a person living in Texas.
They don't live the reality. They don't live the experience of what happens in a city with rampant crime, illegal immigration. They don't live in the neighborhoods where these illegal migrants are then like quartered off to.
Example, right?
They don't live that reality.
So whenever you don't experience this yourself personally, you are abstracted from the consequences of what's happening.
Exactly.
And because you're abstracted from the consequences and you don't understand them, you don't really have a grasp on what's going on. And so when you hear about, oh, this is really bad, and then you use your situation personally as a frame of reference, because most people are completely self-referential in their thinking and in their logic. That means that they base everything that they believe off of things that they have seen and experienced personally. So if a person hasn't seen or experienced this personally, they won't assume that it will be real.
Right.
And that's not always wrong. But what it is wrong is whenever you're using it to invalidate other people's experiences, right? That's what Karens do. So for a lot of these people, they live in upward interaction with any of these migrant communities, and the really negative effects of it are not being felt by these people because these people are not.
Yep, true. We got a live show coming right here, right now. Let's get into it. Hang on. Alright, they're not live yet. We're gonna put this up in the corner here.
The social services and the social systems that migration and illegal immigration puts a strain on. DMV to get their get their license, and you have to wait 6 hours to like the food stamps place for whatever reason, and you have to wait for like fucking 2 hours because there's so many other people there, and the majority of them don't speak English, right? And I've been there myself. That's how I know. And whenever you actually experience it yourself, you see the drain that these people put on the system. And it's very obvious these people drain that these people put on the system. And it's very obvious these people are a drain on the system because if they weren't, they wouldn't be qualifying for the amount of contribution that they put in. And then you take the amount of assistance and everything that they take out. it's definitely going to be negative, right? And a lot of statistics show otherwise, but it's because they're being collected. It's definitely going to be negative, right? And a lot of statistics show otherwise, but it's because they're being collected in an intentionally disingenuous way. And this is another problem of understanding of how data collection methods work. And so they only can look at how data collection methods work. And so they only can look at outcomes, and they can't look at processes. And so that's why, for example, whenever you say like, oh, well, a lot of political violence comes from the left wing, and then somebody shows you a study, then the study shows like, oh, the most political violence was in 2019 before George Floyd. Do a study, then the study shows like, oh, the most political violence was in 2019 before George Floyd, and 2020 didn't even have an increase at all, or maybe it's like up by 20 summer. It's very obvious that like sometimes you have to really go beyond looking at a study, and you have to think about it on your own. You have to think about it yourself. And that's what these people aren't able to do. And the reason why these people aren't able to think about it themselves and think about it on their own is because they're afraid to. And I'll tell you the reason why they're afraid to. Cities didn't burn? Yeah, well, I guess I didn't have eyes. And so anyway, like January 6th. Yeah, like January 6th, another bad one too. They're afraid to think for themselves. And let me explain why they're afraid to think for themselves. Because thinking for yourself gets you canceled. Thinking for yourself, being even slightly off center of certain topics, gets everybody to hate you and completely turn on you. Look at, for example, like what Shondo said. Look at what that Bao VTuber said, right? Did they really say anything that was that problematic or that bad? No, they just made general statements. But the moment that you think for yourself and you don't just follow the popular train of thought, you then become pilloried and attacked and repudiated by not only the other side, but now your own side as well. So what that's caused is it's caused a chilling effect inside of all discourse. No one is afraid to speak out until somebody else says something, and then all they do is agree with them. No one's you in trouble. That's the reason why. That's why critical thinking is dying in America. That's why it's dying in Western society. It's dying because we're killing it. We are killing it on purpose, because anytime a person speaks out of turn, anytime a person doesn't, like, think about Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein is a person who generally is on board with 8 out of 10, 9 out of one thing he had a slight deviation of viewpoint on, because he didn't agree with dehumanizing Israelis and Jews in general, and he thought that they have every right to have some degree of remorse, or not remorse, but grief for what's happened to them on a personal level, even if their government did kind of bring it upon them. And he is now a demon. He is evil. People farm likes by saying how bad he is. J.K. Rowling is another one. J.K. Rowling is a billionaire, and she's so influential that it didn't really matter, and she ended up winning. But
obviously she did. But yeah, the whole rape gang thing, it's bad, man. It's freaking, that's bad. There's a serious threat. Untethered, unhinged, unmitigated, unforced error of allowing mass migration that is inevitably not only of people, that is worldview and perspective and moral principles, moral demographics of a nation. And I'm telling you, that's a death sentence to a nation that wants to hold on to their values. You know, if you have American values at all, and you value sort of then you need to understand you have to protect that in many ways. And one of the ways you do that is by securing a border and deporting as many of the criminals as you can. As a baseline, you would expect that to be the case, right? So there's more going on with this, but I'll let him kind of rant.
Reality is most people don't. And that's what happens. So that's the reason why people don't think for themselves. It's because thinking for yourself gets your life ruined. That's it. He just mentioned you just explained the MAGA movement when Republicans step out of line. In some Republicans also do this too. Vivek Ramaswamy went out and he said that a culture that prioritizes football captains over math captains is not a culture that prioritizes science, learning. People turned on Vivek instantly because of that.
Yeah,
Nick Fuentes, well, Nick Fuentes definitely went much more off of the beaten path, I would say, right? But like
I feel like they're not taking that in good faith when they attacked him for that, because they were just so anti-immigrant at the time. Obviously, he's all for controlling migration and he's actually been massively supportive of all of Trump's border policy and deportation policies. He's been in favor of all of that stuff. Every step that Trump has taken, Vivek Ramaswamy has endorsed. I mean, so they're flipping out over nothing.
General, that dude got canceled the shit. He did. He got completely to be a tier, right? I mean, and if you look, by the way, and just look at this, right? So he took a photo, his kids, right? Happy Halloween, right? This is just a normal, average photo of a guy. Deport. Why aren't they studying? I think that we all know what this is. Let's see here. Why aren't your kids studying? And let's see. There's another one.
Man, that's
I like
messed
your
up.
American costume from the tweet account. India taking L's.
Bro, anybody who has listened to Vivek Ramaswamy and really heard all of the different things that he had to say. I mean, he was on Daily Wire, he was on Fox News. He single-handedly was the reason his central right-leaning policy was so popular they even platformed him on CNN. And guess who he got fired because his rhetoric was so good? Don Lemon. And that is a credit to Vivek Ramaswamy. Don Lemon was a insane, woke, pro-DEI, I mean, just flip the script and make white people slaves. Lemon is evil and misguided in so many ways. And only thanks to Vivek Ramaswamy. So just keep that in mind.
This is what Halloween's really about. Now, costumes, family first. Okay, this is a nice comment for sure. It definitely is. Did you try dressing up as Americans? 3,000 likes.
Bro.
Let's see another one that's really popular. Where's another really popular reply? And let's scroll all the way down.
Yeah, we got it. We get it. For sure. So, I mean, I'm curious because I want to see, guys. Let's do British people.
We have fam.
These are real British people that, like, you want to know what they genuinely think because they're not being represented in their government right now, not even a little bit. So we are definitely going to just see how they feel about this stuff because they're missing out on patriotism, the English flag, all that stuff.
National anthem.
Yeah.
Right? This is basically the story to why it came about. Okay? So we got the Star Spangled Banner as you never heard it before. Right?
So the story to why the
backstory to the national anthem.
So that was made up a
time ago. So let's see what we got.
Heard it.
Bit of history for you.
I like stuff like this.
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the National Anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've...
That's the thing, right? You know, when you do see moments when Americans are singing it, you can tell that, like, they're really feeling it.
Yeah.
Do you know when we sing it? I feel like we don't have that, like...
A lot of us don't know the words to ours.
No, I feel, and we don't have the passion for it either,
Yeah.
but like, they really do so.
Yeah.
This is...
But we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protracted...
That was us that burned down the White House.
Was it?
Yeah, so like we was at war with America, like there was like, you know, kicking us out and stuff.
Oh.
So yeah.
I would have kicked us out.
Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners.
Let's see
on
what
both
they think,
sides.
right?
The American colony initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release. And I send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day, in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis.
Oh. So are you with it?
Yeah,
So
it's going to swap.
the British have got the American prisoners. The American Francis, he's going to go there.
Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity's men.
Look at that.
Bad, isn't it?
And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated this filth out of your chains.
Just a badass story.
As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem.
I like this.
He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean?
Why?
He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth.
Oh, God.
Alright, so this is the very, very important part of the story.
Yeah.
So they have a fort there. They've got the flag flying high, the Americans, and the Brits being the Brits saying, surrender, pull it down, or we're going to, you know, destroy it.
Yeah.
He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon. He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the...
Oh, and during this time, the British are very feared. Like, during this time, we invaded a lot of countries. We invaded a lot of countries. We were very feared. We were very strong. Our fleet was, you'd be scared of it.
But is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war is over. These men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort. He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? That flag, the shelling will stop immediately.
That place, they've just said, isn't a military place.
No.
There's families there.
About that,
the Brits are like, well, we're giving your only option is to take it down.
Take the flag down.
Otherwise, we don't care. We're going to blow them up.
And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule.
Yeah, under British rule.
Yeah.
Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. Down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch. Haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset. Suddenly, haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset. Suddenly, the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no... He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs.
They didn't take the flag
He said it was absolutely...
No. They stay strong.
Yeah.
And then the Brits are now starting to... Yeah, they're starting to attack it.
Absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky...
So now starting to... Yeah, they're starting to attack it.
Absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says, from down below where the flag is.
Wow.
What have they done with the flag?
So that's the thing. That's the only thing they're bothered about. They're saying,
where's the flag?
yeah, is the flag still up? That's the only thing they're bothered about. They're saying,
where's the flag?
yeah, is the flag still up? So the flag is such an important symbol.
Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling. Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb, and Francis Scott Key would report, it's not down.
Yeah.
The Admiral came and he said, your people are insane. He said, what's the matter with them?
Mate, they're insane. They don't want to give you the land. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
He said, don't they understand this is an impossible situation? Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Oh, wow. That's good.
We're getting our patriotism and how they are missing it so much. They wish they could have patriotism. You wave English flag, you're called. They could have patriotism. You wave English flag, you're called a bigot and a racist just for having the flag up. So they're reacting to our patriotism about our flag and the Star Spangled Banner, and it's big and it's important and it's massively inspirational. And then of course we have Caroline Leavitt, who's going to be live soon on Fox News about the shutdown. So let's look forward to some good news on that.
The Admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down. He said, we don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that.
I don't understand why it's up.
To bring every barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer. God.
I actually feel really like sad for them.
Yeah.
And I'm British.
And I.
We're the ones that did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd keep that flag flying,
bro,
where we last saw it.
Good.
Where we last saw it.
Good.
The sunrise came. Flag,
everything else
completely
down
nondescript in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top.
Still there.
Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits.
Wait, yeah, that flag, for it to be standing and that much hits.
Suffered repetitious direct hits.
Wait, yeah, that flag, for it to be standing and that much hits.
Yeah.
Like, it must be super glued.
Yeah.
Proper, that's
yeah.
Fallen. But men.
Look at that.
Fathers.
That's everything.
So listen, the flag, the pole was separated from the ground. It was not going to be standing, right? So the flag had literally collapsed, but here's what happened and why it was still up.
Just stands there
Knew what it
proud
meant.
and tall.
For that flag to be on the ground, guns were trained on it, walked over, and held it up.
Oh, wow.
Humanly.
Oh, wow. That's why it was still up.
What?
Just went to the flag and
held
it
it.
up. They was still there.
No, it's okay. I haven't been live as much lately, so no worries, Ladies Archaea. Yeah, we're gonna get into we got a lot to cover today. Big, huge things. This is just so inspirational, and I want you to get a taste of how the British citizens right now, overrun with radical, holding up an English flag. You've seen some of the news coverage, I'm sure. Assembly of people holding up the UK and English flags, and they were all called bigots and racists and supremacists of some type, you know, white nationalists and supremacists. It's insane. It's stupid. They're not. They just want to be able to show pride in their nation again. And so they're watching this to understand why Americans are so proud to be Americans, right? At least half of us still are.
Commitment.
Whilst being bombed and missile, all sorts.
Until they die.
So the flag was totally obliterated, the pole, and the flag would have fallen, even though knowing it was being targeted with cannon fire, came in to hold up the flag themselves and died doing so.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Their bodies were removed and others took their place.
Wow.
Good for that.
Francis Scott Key's last gleaming. Or the rockets read through the night that the flag was still there.
Wow.